is VeninOrchid. Some of you know me as J Bunny on Ghost. And we're going to do some posing today. This is a beginner's workshop. So even those who don't know nothing about posing can learn something today. Let me start sharing my screen so we can, if you haven't downloaded the resources yet, they're up in the workshop thread, posing in Milkshape, the beginner's tutorial. You have everything there, the Milkshape link, the Animash plugins that you need, and the body animation bases and a link to SimPE. Okay, first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna open the um, animation bases by Wes. No, this is not it. One moment. Creating pose boxes by Dr. No, not by Wes, by Dr. Pixel. Now, if you open yours, you're not going to have this many. I have a lot of them. Some of them I made myself. You're going to have the adult female, the adult male, I think the toddler, and the child animation bases. Those are the four standard ones. Today, let's see. Let's just make a simple pose. Yeah, I have one here. We'll do this one. Hey, it's October. We'll do the Halloween spirit. Let's see. Okay. So this is the pose that we're going to make. You can open any one of these, the adult female, the adult male. If you're doing child bases, only a child will be able to use it. The adult and the adult poses will look just, they'll be weird, okay? Same with the adult female and adult male. If you use those, the child will hover. So make the pose according to the body you're going to use. Let's see. We'll just pick one. I'm going to make a female just because it's a male on the pose. I'm just going to see here. Let me do a quick introduction. Oh, by the way, the new players, if this is not the screen that you're seeing on the joints tab, the skeleton, you have a big blue mess. You need to go to, let me see where it is. Yes, file, preferences, and you need to change your joint size. This should say something different for you. Just change it to this, and your joints will be just as you see it on my screen right now. Then let's get into it. If you look to your left, I'm sorry, to your right, I have my thing screwed up right now. You'll see a lot of different things in the joints. Now, some people, if you go to the model tab and you go to select, some people like to select their joints by clicking here. Then, if you go over here, you can select the joints by dragging your mouse. I don't like to do that. Sometimes you can drag the wrong joint, and it's difficult if you have a lot of poses and you miss one. So what do? I go to the joints up top and I just click here. If I want to do the right arm, I'll click here, double click here, and it'll select the right arm. You see?
They're
Okay.
easier to articulate if you just double click on the tree instead of trying to select it in your model tab because you can mess up. You can select the
Yes.
wrong thing or turn it the wrong way.
Yes, exactly. That's why I use the joint tree. Just double click on this and it'll highlight it. That's the way I use it. Some people like to select it by using the model tree. Doesn't work for me. It's easier to do it from the joints tree. Okay, well, let's see. I'm gonna make it smaller just so we can see the pose. Can everyone still see me? See the screen then? Okay. All from all. Okay. In the joints tree, you'll see a lot of different joints. The oscal joint, forget it exists. You do not touch the oscal joint. Just never
I
do
will
that.
come to your house with a tire iron if you move the AUS scale.
You see? Don't do it. Just don't do it. Okay, the trans, that's what you use when you want to move the sim around or the model around. You see, and you go to the model, you see move. That, oh, I'm sorry, big mistake here. Always press the anim button over here or your model will not move. Some people like to put a 1.0 here. it's not necessary, but you can't put it there. Okay. This way with the move button, then wait, move, yes, here. The trans, you see that it lit up, it's now green. That means that the model's gonna move. So you can move it up, you can move it down. That's the trans. That's what the trans button does, or the trans tree does. You always use it with the move button over here. If you use it with rotate, it's not gonna do anything in the game. It will move here, you see, but it's not gonna do anything. You do not use the trans with the rotate. You only use it with move. Next one is the rotate button. This one we use to sorry. This one you use to rotate. It can go up, it could go down from the front, you see? Rotate. Pretty easy to remember that one. Then we have the spine. If you double click on it, it's going to highlight and you know exactly which part you're working with. Spine 1, spine 2. So actually just click on them to see what highlights and then just move them around to get a general feel for milkshape. For this pose, okay, it's maybe not really a basic pose, but we'll try to go through it. Let's start with what should we start with? Let's start with the legs. The legs are all the way down on the tree, all the way down to here. Pelvis. Pelvis, highlight, it's gonna highlight everything over here. The right thigh, the left thigh, the
Well,
calves.
if he's hold up, if he's turned, kind of 45 off to the right, wouldn't you want to start with root rot?
I will not rotate him yet because sometimes if you rotate the body, the what do you call them? The I don't know, the windows change. Like when I use the rotate, like let's just rotate for a second. If I rotate her like this, now for me, I know that if I move this arm up and down, I know I use this window. But sometimes when I rotate the model before I
Oh,
start
right,
the
because you're no
pose,
longer because you have it set on local. So if you,
it is
uh,
on local.
it's it's
Yes,
rotating
yeah. Sometimes it
per the position of the root joint, not
exactly.
not as you see it in the viewport.
Exactly. So that's why I don't rotate it. Um, Sometimes I do, but with difficult poses, I don't rotate it before I start posing.
Okay, makes
Let's see.
sense.
Yeah. For this one, because you see, right now it's like a 45 angle, like you said, though. He's looking to the side, but a little to the front. I will not rotate her like this beforehand because then the uh, the mechanics, the movement will be different in some cases. So I will just leave her front view. Wait, something went wrong. Yes, I will just leave her front view for now. You can watch this screen if you want. This is from the side, right? So we're gonna let's just put it in the exact pose as him. So we're gonna project it from the right. You see? Now it kind of looks like what he's doing. Let's go to the bottom, to the pelvis, like I said, or to the legs. His right thigh is a little up. So we're going to highlight the right thigh. You see, you can highlight it. You can't see it here because it's hidden behind the left thigh, but it's highlighted. Let's turn this is the 3D view. You can just, with the right mouse click, you can turn her around. I usually don't like to pose with the skeleton showing, but this is just to show you that it's highlighted. You can turn the skeleton off over here. Then you can see her better. You see? But to show it, okay, you can move the thigh now. For me, this, the second window upstairs, it moves the leg to the front and to the back. Just press the right mouse button and move it back or to the front. whatever the pose asks of you. Okay, this one goes up a little. Just doesn't matter if you go all the way. Just this is just for starters. Go up. Is the leg growing? No, it's not growing. Sometimes your limbs can grow if the settings are not right. This is not growing, so it seems to be good. And then we're gonna move the calf. Do you say calf, calf? I don't know. I say
Calf.
calf.
No,
Yeah,
it
calf.
usually if you have the rotation set on global and you're moving the smaller joints, that's usually when it hulks the joint.
Yeah, it just grows. I had like huge hands when I first started posing.
Yeah,
It freaked
it
me out
doesn't affect it if you have your
if
joint
it's on
rotation set to
local.
local.
Yeah. So that's what I noticed. Whenever I start, I just immediately go to local and it seems to be fine. Okay, let's move the calf down. Same thing, right click, move it down or up. This time we're going down. Okay, let's do the left leg too. The left leg is up a little bit, and then we move the calf back like that. Okay, now see, this is where you would, okay, I would do the hands first, but you can rotate it now if you want to. I'm gonna turn off the skeleton just for right now because it's really bugging me. Okay, now I would rotate her. If you look at the picture, he's rotated to the back. So we're gonna check here, still on rotate. You do everything on rotate. The only reason you would go to move is when you want to move her on the screen. Like when you're posing with objects. I'm gonna show you the object a little later. Like when you're moving with objects. But right now, we're just gonna leave her as she is. We're just gonna rotate her. I'm sorry. Now, root rot. We're not gonna rotate her left to right or okay, here, this is to turn her around. We don't want those. So watch your window, watch where your mouse is because every window moves differently. The window over here, where I am right now, the second one up, that moves to the front and to the back, depending on where the sim is looking, of course, front and back. Okay. Oh, whenever you see the screen jump back, I'm pressing Control C to undo whenever I show you something. You do not have an unlimited undo on this. So if you see something that you don't like, undo it immediately because if you're 4 or 5 limbs in, movements in, you're not going to be able to change it anymore. Okay.
I
So
think
this
Milkshape allows you to back up about 30 steps.
is it
That's your
30?
max. Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't really count.
because I just messed up a mesh and I couldn't back up all the way to the part where I messed it up.
Yes, that's my problem too. I had a fully fleshed out pose and then I noticed her shoulder wasn't right and I couldn't undo it all those times. So I learned from the beginning, if you see something you don't like, change it immediately. Okay.
Yes.
So let's put her to the let's tilt her to the back. Okay, but you see now she is tilted a little too much, right? It's like she's falling over when he's not falling over. Okay. Then we go to the spine, the spine 0. You can move the spine 0 to the front, but it doesn't always look good when you move it too much. That's where the other spines come in. You move them a little to the front. Okay, this is a little too much. I'm going off the pose, but this is what this makes it um, flow more. I see that does not look natural. That does not look natural. So what you would do, move the zero spine 0 first, you move the spine 1 until it looks a little better. You see, every spine moves differently. So move them to what you need. I'm going to move the spine 0 a little bit more to the back just to look okay. Right about there. Same thing with the pelvis. Sometimes when people want to make sitting um, animations or poses, they just move the pelvis like that. You see how it bends near the stomach? That does not look good. So you move the pelvis a little bit, and then you just work with the thighs and the calves. Just make it look a little bit more natural instead of just really bent and what's that word? Sharp corners and things like that. You don't want that. Okay, where was I? Yes, over here. Okay, so we move the pelvis a little bit. If she's not rotated, you can always go back and change it. If there's a rotation on this, I move it back. You see? Just keep fiddling with it until it does what you like. Okay. See, right now I can tell the legs are a little bit too high. So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to, where is it? Over here, pelvis, the right thigh. If you don't know what that is, just left and right, but just press the skeleton again and you'll see that you highlighted the right one. Okay, I'm gonna put this one a little bit down and bring the calf in a little bit more. Okay, in the left thigh, I'm gonna bring it back and then I'm gonna do the feet over here of the foot, the left foot. I'm gonna bring it back a little bit. If I'm going too fast, you can I don't mind. Just let me know if I'm going too fast. Now, some people like to mess with the toes. You can. I'm gonna turn off the skeleton so you can see the toe. Yeah, over here. Some people like to make it like that,
You
but
can,
I've
but
noticed that
only about one
a
in ten
little bit.
people is going to notice it, and if you do it badly, it looks weird.
Exactly. I have some. Wait, let me. I have some examples here. Look, if you mess around with the foot or with the toes, sometimes with CC shoes, it can look really bad. You see what happens over here? It bends the legs in really weird
Oh
shapes.
wow,
You don't want to do
is
that.
that a sim foot or a chicken foot? I mean, that's just
It's
that
it's
was an
debatable. Yes.
unfortunate outfit choice for that pose box.
Yes, exactly. So you see but it works for this tutorials, but this is what happens when you mess around with the feet. If you stretch a foot beyond its capabilities, the Sims doesn't really allow that much. Just don't do it. It's gonna look like this. You don't want that. Let me do an. I find this picture with
Yeah, I
more
would say
feet.
very little, if any.
Yes. Don't move it too much. Now I like
If you need to
Serrano's
rotate
box.
the pose joint or
Yeah.
the toe joint.
Like this is another example. I really love Serrano's poses, but I can't use some of them. Why? Because she rotates some of her calves a little too much to the front. Do you see the dent in the dress over here? I can't use it because it deforms dresses. If I close up the top of it, let me
Or
show you.
they'll move the AU scale and it will tweak the thigh joint so that they look weird and you can't use it.
No, but in this case, it's just she moved the leg, the calf to the front. Look, she has it in this one too. Look at the guy's leg. They move the thigh joint all the way it's straight, but then they move the calf to the front instead of the back.
But that
You
has to do, I think, with how the bones on the calf are assigned as opposed to the
no
pose itself.
no. It's when they do it in the pose. It's like this one. I'm gonna move it a little bit. Let me see. Yes, this calf. Yeah, they instead of going to the back, they move it to the front,
Oh
and
yeah, that's
it
just
just looks
that's
broken to me.
painful just to watch.
Yes, that's what they do. I see it in a lot of poses, and if it's for modeling, it works. But in story poses, it just doesn't because look over here, it isn't really all that bad in the light blue
Oh
jeans. It isn't all
goodness.
that bad. It hurts my eyes, but it isn't bad. But when it's for storytellers, it really breaks the look. Look how it bends the dress over here.
Wow.
Yeah, so you can't use it with long dresses. So
You
I
can't use it with a short dress either because it looks unnatural.
yes, exactly. That's why I love some of these post boxes. I can't use a lot of them. Okay, let's get back on track. So that's why I say do not move the limbs beyond what they can do because it will look ugly. Like I said with the foot, move it, but don't move it too much or it's gonna break. Okay, let's see. Where was I? Okay, for now this looked okay. Let's move the toe a little bit, just because we can, just a little bit. But as you can see, she's hovering right now, right? The purple line that is. Let me turn it on over here. The purple line or the yellow line, that's the floor in The Sims. She's hovering right now. That's where the trans joint comes in. If you want to do that immediately, let's do the trans and we'll move her down. Now in the movement tab, you have the X, Y, and the Z. Okay, the X is for when you move things left to right. I'm going to turn the other ones off so you can see it better. Right. In the first window, you can go left and right. In the second window, that's front to back. Then we're going to use the Z. See it light up blue? That's when it's selected. The other ones are off. That means it can only move to the front and to the back. It doesn't matter if you turn the dial around, it's just going to move to the front and to the back. That's really handy. Nice tip if you know what you're doing in Milkshape. Okay, but we want up and down. So we're going to use the Y one. The Y one. Okay, so we move her down. Lift it up so you can actually see it. Move her down so that her toe touches the floor. Is it over here? Yes. I'm going to turn it on in here too. Do you see? She is touching the floor now. That is the movement and the trans joint. If you just look at the skeleton, you'll see. If you see that this blue one has moved, that means that the worked, the trans worked. If you use any of the other ones, like the rotate one, we saw that in Jason's intermediate. It's gonna move the sim, but it's not gonna do anything in the game. It's just gonna stay in the exact same place. So always move using the trans joint. Okay. Now she's on the floor. Let's continue with the pose. Are there any wait, no, are there any questions so far, Thea?
Everything looks good so far.
No question.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes. Thank you, Grant. Okay. If there are no questions, then let's continue. Okay. Now we've moved her. When you've moved her, just immediately click on the rotate tab and go back to the joints. If you sometimes you can mess up and you leave it on the move, but if you let me just show you what happens if you leave it on the move. Let me just use the move button because I forgot to take it to put it back on rotate. The right arm. Okay, I want to let it go up. Oh no,
Oh no.
this is like something from an alien movie. That's what happens when you keep it on the move tab. We don't want that. Control Z. Then you know you messed up. Just control C and go back and upper arm. Let's see. Now we're gonna click on the arms. You can't really see the arms over here because it's side view. So we'll go to the front view, back to the front view. Now, some people like to, I'm gonna go down to the bottom. And sometimes it's hard to get it into this pose like here. Oh, it's small. I'm sorry. Let's make it big again. Really? Yes. So what do? I lower it first. Bring it down. If you want to put it looks like his arms are on, so you can see the skeleton, and I'm gonna put the arms at exactly the same height. I lowered the right arm, so I'm gonna do the left arm too. The left arm is just around here, down. So I'm gonna put it down too. If you watch this window, you'll see that I can put it in the same area as the other one. Now they're down at exactly the same level. And you can go back and forth like that. I'm gonna do the forearm now. Now, see, with the forearm, I know that this window over here lets me put it to the front and to the back. If I use it over here, it's gonna bend her arm in a really bad way. You don't want that. So try out the different windows and you'll know which window you need to use for certain limbs, I'll say, certain parts of the arm. Okay, this one will let me do it to the front and to the back. So I'll put it up, do the other one the exact same way because they're roughly the same height. So we'll just do them together. This one, you can go back. Just sometimes you have to move the mouse from left to right. Sometimes you have to move the mouse from up, down. Just move it until it looks good. Okay, this one, roughly the same. Turning the skeleton back off because it's hindering my view. Okay, now the arms are a little bit higher up, but you can see that the forearm is already at the height. All we have to do is technically rotate the hand to get it into that pose. I'm going to show you in a little bit. Okay, upper arm over here. That's the right upper arm. Let's move the left one as well. I'm going to put the left one a little lower just so you can see the differences. I don't really like to do poses exactly like you see them in the photo or on the screen. Just do what works for you. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna leave it there. But she's really stiff right now. I don't like it when they look this stiff. So we're gonna move the arms a little bit. Maybe move this one out like that. Like I said, I'm gonna move in the different windows to get the result that I want. I suggest you do the same. Just learn your windows. I'm gonna say like that. Not Windows 10 or 7 or 8. Just milkshake windows.
The
Okay.
viewports.
Viewports. Thank you. I forgot that they were called viewports. To be honest. Okay. Okay. Wrong way. Over here. Upper arm. Move it a little out. Okay. I like this better. Now let's twist the hand. Now you can twist the forearm to make it look like in the screenshot. No, wrong window. Sorry. Over here, you see it moves out, moves in, but you got to be careful when you do that. Why? I'm gonna go to the 3D view, turn her around, closer, just zoom in, mouse wheel. Yes, if you twist the arm over here, you can twist it in a really bad way. So I suggest when you twist arms or forearms and even legs, watch your 3D view so you know you don't over twist or over rotate, things like that. You see? I see this a lot in some in okay, I'll give them to them. They're new posers, even veterans. So just watch out for that.
Yeah,
Do
and
not twist. Yes.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, no, you can go.
No, I was going to say if you like in this instance, just because of the claw hand that he's making, you you want to kind of split the difference between the forearm and hand because if you put it all in the hand, you're really going to put like excessive torsion on that joint. It's just not going to look natural.
Yes, I
So you want
know.
to
So that's
like
why we
you want to go about 50-50.
yes. So that's why we're moving the forearm and the hand. You see how I'm twisting it right now? Uh, Look, this is the original pose. Is it the original? Let me. No, this is the original. pose. Okay. So now I'm gonna twist the arm a little bit, the forearm, so that it moves the hand palm outward. Because if I leave it over there and I twist the hand, like Jason said, no, this is the wrong one. The hand is over here. Look what happens to her wrist. You see what happens to her wrist? That is not natural. So we don't want to do that. Let's do the forearm first. This is this one over here. Put that one over here. Watch your 3D your 3D port, so you don't over twist it. I think that's about as far as we. Nope. You see? I don't know if you can see it, but look, it's already a little bit unnatural. So bring it back. Just bring it back like that. Okay. Let's go to the other one. Twist a little bit like that. If you go to this window, you can bring it like that. Let me see. Did that twist anything? No, no, it still looks good. Okay. Now we can twist the hands. Bring the hands up to where he's holding them. Let's make. I don't do the fingers yet until I've done the entire body. I just leave the fingers for the last. You can do them up front, but just leave them for last. It's easier that way. Okay, let's see. This hand, we're gonna move it up. No, that's down. Up. Because then we're gonna make the claw, right? I'm gonna do that with the fingers. Over there. And the other hand, the right hand, we're gonna move that. Oh wait, I want to twist that one a bit more, but I'm gonna twist it using the upper arm. Move the upper arm out a bit. You see how that brings the palm closer? I don't know. It rotates the palm to your face. It opens the palm up. Let's see. Then you use the forearm a little bit again. Like I said, just tweak it until it does what you want. The hand over here. Yep, that's about. Okay, but as you can see, she's still not really rotated the way he is. I'm still not really happy with that. So I'm gonna rotate her again. I always check
You
to
want
see if it's
to,
still on rotate.
I don't know if it's
Yes.
just the angle of the image, but in the
Yeah, I
sample
still have
pic,
to
it looks
rotate
like
the 45.
his right shoulder is twisted a little bit further forward than the left. See what I'm saying? So you might grab a spine two and just cock it a little bit.
No, she still has to move the 45-degree angle. I didn't rotate her in that angle yet. We'll just rotate. If I
And it
rotate
might be
her
it might be the
like that,
perspective of the
yeah,
image.
you see it? Yeah. If I rotate at a 45-degree angle, then you see it. You see the arms have to go up a little more. So this is all about tweaking. Let's see. Okay, let's rotate her. Maybe that'll make it easier to see. Over there. The neck, same thing. Don't overdo it. You can do like really exorcism of Emily, the exorcist. Don't do it. Just make it natural. Up, down. He's looking down a bit, and he's looking to the left. This is the window that makes it left or right over there. Now you can go all the way. Don't do it, like I said. But what I like to do, I like to rotate it using the neck as far as I can. And then the rest I do with the head. But be careful with the head because if you move the head too much, you're gonna get. Oh, you can't see it here, but let's exaggerate. If you move the head up or down, it can break the what do you call it? The skin in the sim. You're gonna get see-through issues. So, like I said, moderation is key. Move it just a little bit. Just a little bit. No, I'm gonna move it too much. move a little bit. No, this is the head. I want the neck. The neck. Move the neck a little bit and then move it down. Okay, I'm gonna move the hands up a bit because I could see that they're not in the correct position. Over there. Drop the, where is it? Over here. Yep. Other one as well. Move it up. Hmm. Now here's, let me see. Here's another thing. The clavicle. As you can see, his shoulders are up a little bit. I forgot to notice that, but his shoulders are up a little bit. So if you want to do that, don't put the arm all the way up because then it's gonna bend in some weird shape. We use the clavicle for that. If you select the clavicle and you move it up just a little bit, you see how it moves up? It's like she's lifting her shoulders. That's the way you want the clavicle. Wait, let me show you something. Let me show you one of my very old post boxes where I didn't know what I was doing. And I really butchered that pose over here. Yes. I was trying to do yoga poses and look at this pretty thing. Do you see that? I moved the hand.
Yeah,
Yeah, I moved the upper arm all the way up without even thinking about it, didn't know about the clavicle, and then you get this. I even put a nice note for don't do this, it looks a bit weird. I didn't know what I was doing. That's the clavicle. You need to move the clavicle and you'll be fine with
but
that.
it's
I
essentially
yes.
it's not a huge deal on the pose that you're currently making because the upper arms are down. But if the upper arms are above the plane of the shoulder blade, essentially, you need to split the difference between the clavicle and the upper arm. You can't
Exactly that.
move the upper arm 100%.
No, because then it's gonna break. We'll call that broken poses.
Yes.
Let's see. Let's up this clavicle a little bit. I'm gonna move the arm. You see, if you move certain parts, other parts are gonna like. I don't like the arm this way now, so I'm gonna drop it again because I moved the clavicle. You see? So just keep fiddling with it. I move the clavicle up a little. The arm is gonna open up. Close it back. You see? Close it back. Okay. Do I like that arm there? Yes, I do. But now the palm is a little bit too open for me. Oh no, I'm just looking at the wrong window. Sorry about that. This hand, the right hand, it can move a little bit. Yes, like that. Up and down. Just mm, see which window does what. Down, just on up a little bit, like that. Move down the left one. Up and no, wrong one. Sorry. Up and down. Okay. This arm is open too much. We're gonna close it like that. Bring it out. You see the forearm, it's bent inwards. We can move it outwards without, let me see, that, that, like that. The hand, move it outward, like that, like that. Okay, let's just yes. Is everyone with me so far? No questions? Okay. I'm gonna tweak it a little bit, see if I can get it the way that yeah, I like this more. Don't move it to the back too much because then it looks like she's gonna fall over. Always try to center the model. If she's leaning back, bring one of her legs a little bit to the back so that it looks like she's leaning on that leg. Because I've seen a lot of poses when people are crossing their legs but the sim is gonna fall over. You can see it. This one, the left, this left leg is it's good, so we'll leave it there. But if she's gonna fall over, just move it a little bit to the back, like she's centered on that leg. Yeah, you see? This one looks better now. Okay, let's go back to the hands. Let's fix her hands. We want claws. Let me see. Does she look good from this angle? Now, see, this here she would fall to the window. You see that? She is not centered. So you can use the rotate button if you want, and then rotate her so she's like center, but you don't have. You can just move her leg, move her other leg in the let me see. Look. You see? Yeah, that looks better. So just watch all of your windows to make a pose look the way it should. I'm getting off topic here because I see different. It's better to zoom in when you're doing hands. What you can always also do is you can highlight the hand and then right selection, but it's gonna zoom in really close. So what I like to do, I like to select a bigger portion of the forearm and then frame selection. So give me just that part. You see how it's moved away from the fingers? Then you can really see the fingers. Now, I don't like to really touch thumb number one and two in most cases. You don't have to, but if they're holding things, if you're posing accessories, you might have to touch thumb one and thumb two. I don't usually. Let me see. Pink, let's do the claw. Zoom in on the picture. Now you see the pink, which hand am I working on? The left hand. Go down to the left hand over here. The pink. Pinky one. Um,
For the fingers, something that I like to do instead of turning on the skeleton, turn on the heat map. Yes.
Oh, that's one thing I can't do is pause fingers.
It's tricky. It takes a lot of practice.
Yeah.
yeah, and different windows do different things. So,
Well,
but be
interested to
friends with your
learn.
undo button. Do be friends with your undo button.
Yes.
Yeah, it would help if one of the fingers have an extra bone joint. I mean,
Yeah, like in The Sims 4. But
yeah,
Yeah,
it
Sims
would
4
have.
has 3 bones in the finger,
yeah,
yeah.
that's right.
Yeah, I wish Sims 2 had that because posing fingers without that extra joint is.
Is it?
Jeez, that's the
I've
word.
never had an issue with fingers. It's
I
always
have.
the thumbs. For some
Yeah,
reason, they don't. The way that they appear in the viewport is not the way that it applies the animation in game.
yeah, I had problems with the thumb previously. I move it correctly and things like that, but when you use it in the pose, in the actual game, it just shoots up like a thumbs up out of nowhere.
Right. Like if you bend in thumb zero, you know, as if the sim is gripping something, a coffee cup or a shovel or what have you. If you rotate that like down so that it's perpendicular to the hand, it doesn't always present that way in game, and that's just super frustrating.
Yeah, it is frustrating. Fingers are frustrating, even for me, and I've been doing this for a long time. Like with the
Eraser said,
thumb, like
wait,
I
in
said,
Sims 4 they have more joints, but they don't use them.
they don't.
I have no idea.
Yeah. Okay, let's move the thumb down, and we'll move it in. Down is when I use the yes. Yeah, down is when I use, no, this one brings it down. The second screen from the top brings it down. And then the first screen from the bottom brings it in. You
But
see
it
that?
depends how it's presented local to the
Yes.
hand.
Yes. Depends on the screen you're watching, right?
That's it most of the time, but it depends on the position of the hand. If you have it set
Mm,
on local.
yeah, that too. But if you haven't set it on local, you're gonna know because sometimes it'll grow and you know
Oh
you
yeah,
messed
I
up.
mean anything lower than like forearm, you're going to hulk it if it's not set on local.
Yes, exactly. Let me see. Well, the thumb is fine there for now. See if we can move it a little later. The index. Now you can move, spread the fingers out, but it'll look weird sometimes. So don't moderation.
Yeah, don't
Don't
overdo it.
no, don't overdo it. Spread the fourth and first finger. Let's do the other one. Let's move the pinky a little bit too. Open it up. Yeah, that's really claw-like. You see that in the 3D? If you want, you can move the hand back up. No, wrong one. Sorry. Back up or down to make it really into a claw, depending on the pose. I like it like
I
that.
would tweak your index one, or sorry, yeah, index one
Yeah,
just a
I
tiny
didn't.
bit.
I didn't do the index yet. Yes.
Oh, okay. So it
Yeah.
still looks straight.
Yeah. Index one. So the zeros is the finger. Remember that. And when you see a one or a two, that's the smaller parts at the ends. Okay. Index. We'll bend the index a little bit like that. Yeah, but the colors are still blurring, obstructing my view a bit. Let me turn it off for a second. Yeah, see it with the shadow, you can see it better if it bends.
It
See,
looks
I move.
good.
Yeah, no, it's good. Okay, if you want, you can drop the pinky a little bit more. Yeah, looks good. Looks good enough. Okay, let's do the other hand immediately. That's the right hand. Go back up. Same thing. Sometimes I bend the smaller parts first, see what it looks like, and then I move to the bigger part. No, the entire finger. I'm sorry. No, wrong one. This one. Okay, like that, and then I move the entire finger down. I'm gonna move the middle one up. This one like that, and I'm gonna move the index finger down. Easy. You can move it up, but don't move it too much. This is this is stretching it. This is I'm sorry. Yeah, this is still doable. Put the index one down. No, leave it up. Leave it up. Looks better up. This one down a little bit, down a little bit, down a little bit. Okay, I like it like that. Thumb, move the thumb in like that. Move it down and then move it in. Let me see on the 3D. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, you did the fingers.
I would crank thumb two just a tiny bit.
Go back to frame all. Thumb two. Okay, let's see. You want to move down thumb two inwards.
No, yeah. So it's like closer to the index finger.
Closer. Let me see which one moves it in. No, this one rotates. This one moves it in.
Yeah, there it is.
Okay, let me do it on the other one too. Thumb two. Let's move it in like that. Maybe move the index a little bit more. And down, 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 like that. Yep. Now that's the claw. Okay, frame all. Does it look good? Do you like it? If not, tweak it some more.
I think it looks good.
Looks great.
I almost want to dance with it right now. Okay. Okay. If we have all of this, we'll turn the skeleton back on. Now, this has happened to me a lot of times. I want to see what it looked like before, and then I want to see what it looked like post. And I make the mistake and I press the anim button. That will lose all your process. You need to fix the pose. How we do that? How do we do that? We go to edit. I like to do this first. I like to select all just to make sure I get everything. Animate tab, and then we set the keyframe. If the skeleton lights up in yellow, it's saved. You know, it's stuck. If you press the anim button down over here, if you press it again, T-pose. Lovely T-pose. If you press it again, you know you're good. Now I like to
That saved your keyframe.
keyframe. Sorry, I keep saying when I don't know why the keyframe. Okay. Now I like to save this because maybe I want to come back to it after a while, change things up. I don't know. I like to save it as a milkshape file. So I will save it. Let's just call it. We'll call it furler claw. It doesn't matter what you call it. Just give it a name. Save. Okay. Now we're gonna export the animation so that we can tie it to the box. Okay. Now there's where the animation base that I had to download. That's where it comes in. Where is my yes? It's over here. Don't forget to put all of these in so that you can thing that I've done is part of it. In Milkshape, we'll go to File, Export, and then okay, your list is gonna be a lot, but you want to go all the way down, all the way down until you see this one, Unimesh Anim Export V1.01. Do not use the Unimesh. That's what you use when you work with accessories and things like that. Use the Anim Mesh, Anim Mesh, Anim. Okay, we're gonna press that one, and it's gonna tell you to export. Now here, let me see if I can do it. Okay, I did a lot of the poses. Don't look at it. In this part, you want to name. You always start with an A. Now this A is not for what you know as a child or adult or just it's so that simply you can recognize it. So put A, I'm gonna call it A thriller. Don't use underscores. You can use hyphens, just don't use underscores. Don't use what do you call it? Caps, caption, caps. Don't use all caps. Just keep it this way. A thriller claw. That is your animation, and
The
we're gonna save it.
caps don't
Okay,
super
we're gonna.
matter, but if you put in the way that it reads the resource, it's like blah 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 animation underscore anim. So if you put in
Mhm.
a second underscore, it's not able to recognize what size of or what type of resource it is,
Oh, yeah, it's gonna read the first underscore and not the
and it's
last
not
one,
going
so
to
it's
know
gonna
what
get
it is.
confused.
Yeah,
Yes, exactly. Okay, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, we're gonna leave it as this, a thriller claw. Save it. Okay, now this window. Now I see don't leave the Oscal animation. You can leave it on body animation. This is gonna start look like none for you. Body animation and none. You can leave it like that. You can put body overlay and pose. Different tutorials will tell you different things. Both of these work. You can use either or.
I just leave the
I
default
think the
settings
body,
as they are.
yeah, just do that. I learned it by changing it to body overlay and put this one as pose. But I've seen Jason's tutorial and he left it as, and it just works fine. So use either or, doesn't matter. Okay, and we're gonna export it. And you're done with
With the posing
Milkshape.
part.
Congratulations, your first pose. Yeah, the pose part. You just made your first pose. Okay, pose Milkshape if you want to. I have it open because I make a lot of poses at once because the sim with all of the um, with all the text and things like that, it takes a while. So I'm just gonna close it for this time. Close. Now we're gonna go to SimPE. I already have mine open, but when you open SimPE, a rule for me is, sometimes when you go in and you want to view things, you'll see a loading bar at the bottom and you have to wait until everything's loaded. It takes a while sometimes. When I start my SimPE, I always go, first thing I do is go to my object workshop and I press start. It doesn't matter what I'm going to do. I just press start and let SimPE load the game, load everything that's in there. That way, when I go to different parts in SimPE, I don't have to wait for that loading screen anymore. It's already preloaded. Okay. Now, if you go to the Discord, I uploaded a empty test post box over here. You can see it. If you download that, let me see if I have it in here. Yes, we're gonna go to Object Workshop. Wait for it. Yes, Object Workshop, and you're gonna see this screen: Start and Open. Start is, like I said, it's going to load everything that's in the game. But if you're going to start and make a postbox from scratch, you're going to have to go to start and what's it called? Other, I think. I haven't been here in a long way, but you're going to look for a certain box that you have to modify. I've
No,
skipped
it's
that
it's
step. I've
the
made
it's down below. It's the
it's the unknown.
unknown. Yes.
Yeah, one of the unknowns. I've made it a little bit easier for you guys, and I've uploaded a empty post box. So we're just gonna clone that one. I already did this part with the cloning the unknown and changing the box, and we'll just clone the one that I have. That way, to do that, we go to open instead of start. I'm gonna open the empty test box that I gave you. Open it. Okay. Here we see a lot of different options. If you don't know which one to set it to, just press set default and it's going to be like it's normal, right? The only thing you want to add is create a standalone object. So each post box is just, it can stand on its own. It's pretty self-explanatory. Okay. Do not reference the original mesh because then you're going to have this one, the test post box in there to see the other ones. We don't want that. We want a standalone object. Okay, then we go to clone. You have an option, a drop down here that says recolor, but that's if you want to recolor clothes and objects and things like that. We don't do that here. Just clone it and press start, or you can press next up there. It doesn't matter. Both do the same thing. Now here, you can name the box. We'll call this thriller test. This is a test post box, so I'm going to call it thriller test post box. I'm going to call it trailer tutorial. Doesn't matter what you put in here. Usually people put their handles in there, their name. Mine is VeninOrchid. I'll put a link to my Tumblr or to Garden of Shadows. You can do all that here. This is the description box that you see for the objects in the game. You know that Maxim like to put a lot of funny things, funny names, references of what do you call it, of songs and bands and things like that. This is where they put it. So what you write here, you will see in the game. Thriller tutorial postbox by Fen and Orchid. I'm just gonna put PO. Okay. Next, we want to go to finish. The price here is not the price of the box. Or this one is. Which is it, Jason? Is this one the price of the box or is the other one?
No,
I
it's.
think
I
this
mean,
is the one.
it's either or. I mean, you can. Which
You can
version of
change it later
SimPE are you
on.
using?
This one, I do not
Is
remember.
it 75.69 or is it earlier?
N- No, no, no. It's not the newest one. I don't remember
Okay, so
actually. Wait.
then it doesn't
Yeah,
matter. If
that's
it's
the same.
not the newest one, it's either or. So
It's
you
either
can
or. Okay.
put. I mean, normally for post boxes, you just leave it as
As
0,
zero.
correct?
Yes, I
But
leave all my post boxes at zero because why would you pay to put a post box and you're just gonna
yeah,
make your sim lose money? That's ridiculous. So I leave it
yeah,
at
but
zero.
it
Okay, let's
it can
finish
be
this.
changed
Press.
either here when you first clone it or in the OBJD.
Yes, there you can change it. Okay, here we're just gonna call this one again. Give it a name. Uh, thriller thriller test. I'm gonna call it thriller test post box. Now the numbers here
They're
previously, if
junk.
yeah, the junk. But previously, when you did this using the guide register thing, the Git, here it would say your name, your
Right, when the GUID
amount of
database existed, it
oh,
made sense, but now they're just junk characters.
yeah,
They just make your scene graph name
yeah.
longer.
Now it's not exactly, but back then this would say VeninOrchid. That's my handle, and it would say the date. Okay, this okay. We're good now. Okay, here we're gonna give it the name so you can find it easily. Okay, VeninOrchid. This is it's a lot of naming. I noticed you have to put the name in a lot of places. This is thriller. Um, that's postbox. So it was already there. There. Okay, and this is gonna be the package. What it creates now is is the package that you're gonna put in your game. Save it. Fixing the names. Okay, we're gonna change the things in here now. Where you saved it, let me see if I can find it. Oh, I'm sorry, this is a mess. Yes, it's here over here. Theo Thriller Test Postbox. Now, SimPE is tedious stuff. Okay, if you a
Ah,
lot of people get lost in this part.
if you're a beginner,
Yeah, SimPE is
it
scary for beginners.
yes, it's big,
Okay.
scary, confusing SimPE.
Yes. Okay. Let's see. Here is still on Object Workshop. Just put it on Plugin View, and then you can. If I press something, you'll see it changes. You see it changes here. Every window is going to be on Plugin View for now. What I like to do, I like to start from the bottom. Wait, I don't have the animations in yet. Okay, no, let's put in the animations. You see over here, there's an anim part. That's because in this box I left one in there so you could see it. But this animation resource is not gonna exist for you. If you use my box, it is, but if you start from scratch, it's not gonna be there. So what you want to do, you want to press go over here in the resource list, right click on your mouse, and just add. Press add. What this does is it's going to ask you to put in the animation file that you extracted. See, no items match your search. You have to go down here and press all files. If you press all files, then you can see it. The one we extracted today is claw. I'm sorry that I have all the others here, but it's claw. So we open claw and it's going to say unknown. We simply doesn't know what this is. Now, the reason why I left this one is that so I could take the group resource. I could have put it in a notepad, but I'm a little bit lazy. Don't tell anyone. Okay. with the group animation, the group, what's it called, instance now, or I don't know. Go to the
The item
resource,
ID.
item ID. Yes, thank you. Go to the resource, copy this group ID. You need to copy it. Control C, copies. Okay, then we go back to the unknown one. Click in the resource list, click on it, and then paste the group ID over here. Paste it. The group ID in animations is always the same. So you have to copy that for all the animations that you're doing. And then over here in the drop down, we're going to search for animation resource. It's over here. You see how it changed the name? It recognized it immediately as an animation. Trailer Claw. Okay. You can you can commit, don't have to do it here, but you can do it in advance. Okay. Now, you see it recognized it, so it put it immediately with the other one.
Okay,
Now we're gonna
a bit of an interjection here.
yes,
Copying the group ID is not strictly necessary, but
it
I
isn't.
will explain why.
Okay.
When you update the resource, instead of clicking the fixed TGI link, do a fixed integrity operation that updates the integrity on all of the scene graph resources, and it will automatically assign the animation a group and its own unique instance number.
Oh, okay, okay. No, I copy pasted from the other place, so that's the way I always did it. I just copied the group and placed it in there, and like you said, you can do it via the fixed integrity. Where is it again? Object tools, fixed integrity. Then, like it said, it changes everything for you. But we did it manually back then, so that I would go back to the anim, plug in view, and then over here I would fix TG on every one of them
But see,
manually.
that's
That
so
was
inefficient. You
yeah,
can, I mean, you can add all of the anims, then just
exactly.
shift select,
I
go
wasn't
to the
smart back
resource
then.
tab, and go to the resource tab, shift select all of the
All of
resources that
them.
you added, select
Yeah,
anim in the drop down, and then just do a fixed integrity operation.
but back then I did them all
The
manually fixed
gospel according
TG.
to Yasumi.
Yeah, thanks Yasumi for showing us the long way. So now we appreciate the fast one. Okay, I'm gonna remove this one just there as a placeholder. Let's say remove this one, delete. We don't need that one. That was from the previous box. Okay, I'm gonna save it just so that it removes that one. Okay, in the, we want to go to the object data. In the object data, this is where you put in the git. Now, every object, and same with post boxes, it needs its own git. Now, you can go to, what's it called? I use browser links sometimes. Yes, I pasted the git in here. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay. Now, this box, like I said, does not have MMATs, but if you were doing an object or something like that with recolors, you would see an MMAT here. And then you would update all MMATs. But this one does not have an MMAT, so we're just gonna leave that. You wanna press
I mean, you
com
can, but uh, what is it? Update all MMAT, so it's basically like just do nothing and commit.
yeah,
It
but this one
doesn't
doesn't.
affect it one way or the other.
No, it doesn't. This one doesn't have MMAT, so it won't do anything. You can change the name here from reaction test if you want to, but it this doesn't do anything, so you can just leave it as. Let's see. Let me commit so that it takes the new git. Commit that file. Okay. I like to go to the object list. Now I actually can do this away for you. Object model name as is, but with the atoms, here you want to put in the exact name of the animation. that you extracted. If we go here, this is the animation that we extracted, a thriller claw. Everything before the dot 5 AN, you want to copy that. Copy that, and you want to put it here. I'm just going to put it over this one like that. For all of them, if you have multiples, you put them all here. Copy everything that is in front of the dot 5 AN. You need to copy it exactly, or the the game will not be able to find the object
If
or
I'm
the
doing
animation.
a bunch of poses all at the same time, I'll have a notepad open and then just
Yes,
copy paste the anim names to the notepad, and then when I do the string, I
you just
copy.
copy it from there.
Yeah, I just copy from the notepad to the string.
Yeah, you can do that too. I used to do that, but now I just copy it straight from the source. Okay, let's see. But a notepad is handy to keep. It's neater. Let's say that it's neater to do it with a notepad.
Yes.
Okay, now we have this one so that it's there. Okay, now I like to go up here. Let me see if I. No, I'm not gonna do that one yet. The pie strings. Let me see. Okay, this from the text list. Anim adult. I put in the animation. Okay, I am going to go up here to the pie menu strings. Now here is the difference between Jason's post boxes and mine. Jason will only have the name here. Like let's change it. He would only have not this way. His would only say thriller here because he uses a stop all poses. I don't. I use the start and stop. The reason, and not really the reason, but sometimes I make I use different poses on a single sim. Like I do an upper body pose and a bottom pose, and I want to stop just the bottom pose. If you use something like a stop all poses, it's gonna eliminate every pose that you've used on that sim. Whereas I only want to stop the top part or the bottom part. That's why I use the start and the stop button. So it only stops that part of the body. Let's say that. So in here
Okay.
you would
I
have
mean,
s-
that's
yeah.
that's a fair explanation, but my reasoning is if you look at these badly done model poses from the mid 2000s, they're all like pose 1, pose 2, and then each one has a start and stop. So, okay, did I go through 3 sub levels of menus to get to pose 7, or was it pose 3? So
Yeah.
it's handier just to have the stop all. If you're doing overlay boxes where you have an overlay applied to the upper body and a separate one applied to the lower body, you can write separate stop all behaves for each one. That's a little more complicated, but it can be done.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not on complicated level yet. Okay, so I'm gonna show you how to do the start and the stop. In here, we're gonna put. Let me. Is this a sample here? Yeah, I'm gonna put in the first one. We're gonna. I'm sorry. Wait. Ours is called the claw, right? It's called Thriller Claw, but since it's the only pose in here, we'll just call it claw. Now, do you see the dots after the claw? I'm gonna get. I'm gonna remove this. These dots make sub windows. You know,
Sub
when you click on a
levels.
sub level, sorry. Yeah, when you click on the sim, when you get the little head and all the different options, click claw now, you're going to get another sub level. And that level is going to say start. So when you click on claw, it's going to have another sub level and it's going to say start or stop. This one is going to say start. So we make the other one say stop. Sorry, let's move this one. If you hear noises in the background, it's just my partner. Don't worry about it. Okay. This is a start and a stop box now, or the animation. The first one starts it, second one stops it. You're going to commit file, and you want to do this for every single animation that you have in there. It might sound tedious, but like we said, it's good for different uses. It depends on what you need. You want to stop all, you use Jason's version. You want to start and stop, that's kind of the way to go. Unless you're on his level with the complications and you make a different buff for all of them behave for. I say buff. Okay. This is the only one, so we're gonna use commit file. That's the pie menu strings. Why we're doing this, the start and the stop, is because we're gonna link the text. We're gonna link them to the pie menu strings. How do we do that? We do that in the behave for the BHAVs, like I call it. The function and the init, the main function and the init function, initial function. We're gonna, I'm gonna remove these. No, I'm not gonna remove this. I need the info on them. Okay, but what you want to do, you want to copy the init file. Go over here. You can right click on it too and just clone. Clone the init file, and you're gonna get it over here. We're gonna start with what you want to do, what you want the file to do. This one is gonna be the start. Use spaces and okay, this is gonna start the claw animation. Claw. Let me see. Yes, I'm sorry. I had to press commit on that. I forgot. Okay, start. We'll keep those. Uh, oh, yeah. I really should have opened the notepad. It would have been easier. Okay,
If you just want separate behaves, it's easier to clone the start and the stop behaves.
that's usually what I do, but I thought maybe I could. I what I would do is since these are already present, I would clone both of these. Why? Because it already has the necessary the 81 and things like that. I'm still learning what they all do. So this was literally a clone. Yasumi said, do it like this. So we did it like that. Okay. No, let's just do that. It's easier if I show it you like that because if you use this box, you already have the start and the stop one in there. So let's just clone. Let me save it just to get it away. Yeah. Clone. Then you rename them. This one is claw start. So start, claw, commit. We're just renaming for now. We're not changing anything yet. This one is stop, claw. Okay, commit. Now, when you go back, leave the first one as is. It says operand 02FF, just leave it as is. But with the second one,
Hang on, you're frozen again. Okay,
oh
it's
my
working
God,
now.
it's lagging again. Am I still good?
I can see it. It's a little bit latent.
Yeah, it's going in and out.
What do you see?
You're on the behave. It's a little bit blurry still. It's just latent.
It's blurry.
You're on the start behave.
Yes, I'm on the start behave right now. Gonna put it down, put it back up. Does that help with the blurriness?
Yeah, seems to.
Okay. So in the second one, okay, because we only have one animation in there, the operand is already on 00. Where do you get this operand? This operand is the one you see. Where is it? where is it? In the text list. You see this one says 00? That's what you put in the behave start so that it knows which one it's supposed to start 00. If I put in another one, I'm just going to put it just so you can see. I'm going to add another one. Add, well, this one isn't a real one, so we're just going to, let's call this killer. I had another one. Do you see it says 01 now? If I go back to the beehive, okay, you're just hoping. Okay, like I said, you saw that there was another one there, right? In the second one, if I put the 01 in now over here, then it knows that it's supposed to take that one. You see how it changed to killer? So those are the ones that you put in here. Right now, I'm gonna start. Well, I want a option to start the claw, and the claw is 00.
Your
So
first
00.
operand box is telling it which line of text in the string to point to.
Yes, exactly. So 00. If it says, you can check, double check over here, down here with animation to see that you're using the right one. I want claw, so it says claw here. You're good. In the second one, oh, sorry, commit. I seem to forget to press commit. Yeah, commit. In the second one, this is the stop option. Again, in the operands, we want to stop the claw, so it's 00. If you want to stop the next one, it's 01. Stop the next one, 02. Now, uh, in this program, we use hex. So after 09 does not come 10. Then we go to A. But that is if you have a lot of animations. I don't right now, but that's the way to go. So we go to A, then B, then C, all the way to F. And then after F would come 10. So remember, if you're making a lot of poses. But this one is 00, so we'll leave it at 00. Commit. I can explain all these things like the opcode and things like that, but that's going into intermediate territory. So I'm just gonna leave it at clone this box and do this, what I'm showing you, then
Yeah.
you'll be safe. Just do this right now. If you want to do the intermediate part, you want to learn about all this, just watch Jason's tutorial. He goes into it a bit
Well,
more. But this is just
if
the
it's
beginner
for
one.
beginners, you're better off just
Beginner
closing. You're just
cloning.
cloning a simple posebox template
Yeah,
and
just
modifying the
clone it.
stuff within it
Clone it
instead
and
of
you're
trying to
safe.
code your own behaves.
Yes, exactly. Just behaves. I'm me myself. I'm not a programmer, so behaves is still a bit foreign to me. So this is just what I've been taught by Yasumi. Just
Sorry, you're mute again.
Yeah, I can't hear her.
killer animation. Commit. After you forget and the SimPE will not always remind you to commit. Tell you at the end there's some things you haven't saved or do you want to save, but it will not always tell you to commit. Just try to commit after everything you do.
The T tab.
Yeah. Behaves to the pie menu function that's over here. The second one under object data. Now the pie menu functions. Okay, uh, because I made the box, it automatically took the correct things. One moment, please. Oh, hala. Bye, baby. Mama, help kayo. Sorry about that. Okay, my that's bye. My husband and my daughter are leaving. I had to kiss bye. Okay, let's see. In here, we tell the box who's going to use it. You can select visitors, you can tell the box that you want to play the animation immediately. A lot of people don't have this one. If you check it immediately, and the minute you press pose this, it's going to snap into that pose. Adults, by elders, and by teens. If it is, if the pose is made using the adult, not check. So I do not check this box unless it's a pose for children. So if you have 10 options here and one of them is for children, just remove elders, remove teens, remove adults, and just put the children. Then it will only show up if a child clicks on the box. Okay, the start and the stop. Now, yeah, see, this is hard to explain because it's already done. I should have used a different line. Okay, here you would add. Let's say those two were not there. Though. Okay, here you would add one, then you would go over here, use the pi string. See, this is difficult to explain because it's already there.
Essentially, what you're doing is linking the line of text in the t-test to the behave that is supposed to apply.
Yeah, but saying it, sometimes you have to show it, and because it's
Yeah.
already there, it's kind of
No,
hard to
it's all good.
explain.
Go ahead and delete those two.
Sometimes, let me see if I can. Let me just put something else here. This is just gonna put in the stop. Let's see if I had. Okay, normally this is what you would see unknown. Sometimes you would see unknown. This is because the program cannot find what you're trying to link to it. So we click over here. Right now, we're just gonna, we want to start it. This is the action behave. This is, where does this, you see? No, this, let me put in, am I still on? I'm gonna put in another one.
That's in your text string though.
Yeah. Oh no, the
But that's
text string,
that's
I'm gonna have to
that's
do the
the
text
that's
string.
the anim string. It's not the actual t tab
Yeah, don't
or the
worry.
t test. Sorry.
I'm just gonna put something in here for now. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Commit. I'm gonna put another animation in. Yes, no, yeah, just gonna put it in here. Add all files. Stock open. Resize. Do I still have this as space? No, I don't think I do. Okay. I've added another one in here. This is the menu
But you
string.
didn't fix your TGI.
I didn't? I'm sorry. Mm, yeah, fix CGI. Wait, I didn't fix it on this one either. Fix.
But you did a fix integrity operation on the other one.
Yeah, I didn't do
They
that.
basically do the same thing except that one is for just that local resource and the other is for the entire scene graph.
Ah, I see. Do this 1 second, okay? I might just leave it in front. Oh no, I have to get the exact one. Yeah, front stock. Okay. And then over here, is that how many strings? 1 second, guys. I'm gonna do this real quick. Add up, start, add, stop, commit, over here, stop. See, now I added another animation, so we're just gonna copy this one, clone this one, I'm sorry. Here, we're gonna rename this one from up over here. This is number one, front stock, commit. This one over here. Stop and stop animation. This one over here. Front stock. Okay, commit file. Now we have two of them. Start, stop, start, stop. Okay. Now we would go to the
Hold on.
time menu. What did I miss?
Go back to your behaves. The two that
Yes.
you just added, go to the resource tab.
Oh, yeah, I forgot the instance. Good eye, good eye, good eye. Resource, yes. You see in the end here, function main has 1001. No, this one first. 1001001. Every time you add one, you need to change the instance. See, I cloned this one, so this is 2, 3. This one is 2, 3. You want to change those. This one is going to be 4, and this one is going to be 5. Commit. You see it adds up now? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have to do that or it won't show up. It's gonna get confused and it's gonna
It's
see
not going to
it's
apply anything.
it's not gonna play it. No, it's not
If
gonna
you
play
have
it.
resources with duplicate instance numbers,
It's
it's
gonna
not
see it as one. It's not gonna play it.
it's
It's
not
gonna
going to
get
play
confused.
either.
Yeah, it's gonna get confused. Okay, so we have that. Then we go to the the pie menu functions over here. Plugin view is your friend. Okay, you see this only has the one, the claw and the claw. We want to add the front stock as well. So we go to the last one over here, and then we add. Let me see. No, you can clone this one as well, right? No, you can't. Okay, go to the last one and click add. It's gonna clone this one, but we don't want the claw stop. So over here, we go and we open this. It's gonna be right there. We want the front stop. Now, if you have a lot of poses, this list is gonna be long. Just look for the one that you want to attach to this. What's it called again, Jason? I'm sorry. English
Drop
is not
down.
my first language. Drop down. Yes, start the drop down. This is gonna front stock start, but this one still says stop the claw. So we're gonna go to the drop down over here, and we're going to look for. Oh, it's easier way. This one says 3, right? The next one, if you're doing them in a specific order, this one is going to be 4. You see, it changed immediately to the front stock. You can look for it in here, but if you do it in a right order, it's always going to be a follow up.
But the in sorry, if you're using the behave pop-up, it's always going to go in alphabetical order. Did you see that?
Yes,
It's not going to go by the the instance number of the behave. It's going to go in alphabetical order.
alphabetic. Yes, it's going to put all of the starts and all of the stops underneath it. Yes, it's going to go in alphabetic order. So you have to look for the one that you need. But like I said, if you use them correctly, the next one should always be it's always a follow up. Sometimes if you delete animations in a box, you want to add new ones and you delete, well, one or two in the middle, it's going to mess up this window. They're not going to line up anymore. But for now, this one does because we have just two of them. Like I said, this one was three because we cloned it from the other one. So now I'm going to put in a four and see if it matches. Yes, it does. Front stock, start, start, front stock. Then we check here because we cloned it. Okay, this one says adult, no children. Put immediately. Just always put immediately. Then it does the post immediately. Okay, we have that one. We're gonna press add again because now we need a stop version. Let me see if I missed anything. No, I didn't. Okay. Add again. See, just cloned it. The tab entry changed to 0x3. That's also something I noticed. If you put the zero, put the three here, it automatically goes to the next one. Stop. This one, and this one usually match. And of course, here, if you did it right, if you press 5, it should go to the stop. You see? It beats going to the menu every time. 5. Stop. It's enabled for visitors. Goes immediately. Adults, teens, and elders. Okay. Commit file. Again, you can change some things in here. This with anatomy, autonomy. Sorry. Uh, it sometimes it's 32. It was a whole ordeal, but like I said, that's intermediate level. Just don't change anything. Just stop here.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a beginner, just grab a template to clone from.
Yes, just that's another thing. Just use a post box that you know works. Everything works. Just clone that one, and then change these settings to match yours. But work with something that already works. If you have to change a faulty box, you're gonna be here all day for a beginner. I mean, okay, this is done. Commit file. Let me see.
Do you have a texture to add?
Yeah, the texture still needs to be changed. I'm seeing if I have everything. Yep, that's about it. You can
Did your
change the
did the
the
behaves?
yeah the
Did the T
animations, the
tab? Did the T
behaves.
test? Did the string? Yeah, the only
Yep,
thing missing, I think, is
is
the texture.
the texture. Over here at catalog description, you can change it again if you didn't like what you put in the first time. You can change it here. In
Can you show them how to change the price?
the price, that's in the object data. Oh, this is also if you want to make it for available on a community lot, because a lot of us use poses everywhere on residential lots and community lots. You don't want to be in hex. Just no, I think you want to be in hex.
No, you want to be in
No, you want to be
decimal
in.
because then it's going to be values that you understand.
Yes, exactly. If you change the community sort to 128, it's available in all of the community lots. Usually
Or
it says,
you can use William's tool to make it to the object relocator to
yeah,
to change the setting.
yeah, if you have boxes that are not available on community lots, you can use that tool too. Then you can change them.
But
I
don't
use
make the mistake of sorting 200 boxes at once because I did that and it broke them all.
Oh no.
smart, very smart. Why
Just do a
would you
few at a time.
why would you do 200 at one? But okay, that's good to know. Don't do that, kids. Don't change 200 boxes at once. Lesson learned. Okay. We were going to change the price. Catalog sort. This, well, let's just do the catalog sort first. This is where you want your box to show up. I usually have mine in room sort study and hobbies miscellaneous. That's the three dots where every post box is open. Sometimes they put the post boxes in what's it called? Miscellaneous, but it gets cluttered. Just put it wherever you can easily find it, what works for you. I usually, nowadays, I put it in catalog only so it doesn't clutter up my, in, what am I saying?
I don't mess
Uh,
with the category, but what I will do is make collections. See,
yep,
I
a
don't do
collection.
like one or two things. I make massive series of projects. So I'll have a collection for each series of pose boxes that I do.
Some people like to have collection only post boxes. That way it doesn't show in the catalog, but it only shows up if you press on the collection folder.
That's
I
helpful.
sometimes do that, but it depends on what you want. When I make post boxes, I made a post box for what was the name again? I don't remember who it was. It was a request, but they only liked catalog only post boxes. So it's handy to know. To do
Yeah.
that, you just unclick everything here. Okay, let's change the price. Price.
Up at the
What's
top.
always the one? Yeah, I know over here. Like I said, boxes at zero because I don't want them to cut my Sims money every time I place down a post box. But you can change it here. You
Right.
can make $5,000 post boxes if you want.
And
You were go-
make
you were gonna say
sure
something?
yeah, I was just going to reiterate, make sure it's set on the decimal value so
Yes.
that it's something that you understand. If it's set on hex and you enter 10 for
Yeah.
example, it's not going to show up as 10 in your catalog, it's going to show up as something else.
Something else, yes, because the 10 is hex. It's not the actual number. Okay. So that for the price and the catalog sort where you want it to be. And the only thing that's left is the texture image. Commit. Always commit. The texture image. Okay, this one was cloned from the Love Under the Blanket post box that I did for Ghost, but I'm going to show you how to change it. Now, what I do, I export this box. It's a 256 by 256 box. I just export whatever editing program you have, Photoshop, you can do it in Paint, but if you do it in Paint, if you use, what's it called? Transparency. Okay, you don't really use transparency for these boxes, but just make a card or a picture for your post box in one of those editing programs. But remember, make it upside down because the box was mapped weirdly by yours truly, Maxis, and everything is upside down. So place in this, what do you want to do?
Also,
Yes.
also, don't go don't go out to the edge as you see in this image. Give yourself a little, at least a little bit of a border
This one
because
has a border. I put in
oh, okay, okay, okay.
a one black border. Let's okay. What we're gonna do? We're gonna export the image. You can make an image from scratch. It doesn't really matter. I like to export it. So we export this, and then we open it using your editor, your graphics editor. Where is it? Yes, I made this one, the empty postbox. I don't know why it. Is this what you're seeing? If you because I think I uploaded the one that says empty postbox. I'm not sure. Yeah, so you make a image for it, 256 by 256. If you leave it like this without a border, then the entire box is gonna be blue. But if you put a border in here, like a black border of I don't know 1 pixel or something like that, the sides of the box is gonna be black. It's gonna be the color of the border that you use. So the top is gonna be blue, says empty box, but the border and the sides are gonna be what color you put in. Okay, if you have your image, if you've made your image, what you want to do, and this is, I forgot to mention that you need to have DVS tools for this. You can do it using the import button, but it's gonna make your image a little bit blurry. SimPE and the game does that. It's gonna make it blurry. I like to build it using the DXT, and you've seen this a lot of times. Format DXT1 always makes your stuff blurry. Usually you use DXT3 and 5 when you have transparency, but you can always use it even if you don't. It just makes it a better picture. Smoothen, you put sharpen to none, and then here you open the image. I'm going to change this one just because
I
I
was
see the
going
other
to
one.
mention if you're using SimPE 75.69, by
Yeah, it's
default
already to
it's
none.
it's set to none. Yes.
Yeah, already set to none. So if you use a newer one, it's already set to none. Yes, that's true. Okay, so we go to where you have your picture saved, and then you click open. The empty post box, that's good. I don't have a border on this one, so the entire box is going to be blue. And then you just build. That way it updates every one of these. You see, from the smallest to the bigger ones, every one of them is going to say empty post box. There you have it. Mm, maybe I should have made another one. You could have put in this one as a post box.
Yeah, if you
Let, let
actually
me know.
release it as a finished project, that would
No, I
be
was.
that would be a good
Yeah, no,
image to
this
put
one,
on the
this one,
texture.
the tutorial box, the workshop here. I'm not going to release this one. You've seen that I've made a lot of animations for it. I will release a box in the Discord. I had hoped I would have it done by now, but it was a terrible day at work today.
Oh
But
no.
I'm gonna add all of these to the box, and then I'm gonna release it as a after workshop gift. Let's say that. So this box will be available. I will give it to you guys. So we're not gonna worry about the texture image on this one. This is just to show you how to do it. So like I said, build DTS, DXT. Why do I always say DTS? That's DXT. Format, open, this one, build, and commit. Guess what? Your box is done. File, save, the post box is done. Okay, let's go in game. Copy. The file you saved at the beginning, that's the file you want to put in your game. Let me see. Where's my game? Documents. EA Games. Straight. This is my test folder. So it's safe to go in there and download. I have post boxes and animations over here. I just put it in there. Don't look at my post box animations list. Okay, let's see. Fingers crossed. Okay, there we go. Open. Well, but now that this happened, I know I need to work on some things. Maybe try to see what is making it load so
Yeah.
slowly. Let me see. Okay,
I
let's
usually
go
don't go
here.
with for UI mods because it's just so it's a lot, but Starship
I
looks
never
really
had problems
slick.
with it. Yeah, Starship is really nice. I like it.
I use Starship myself, although I kind of wish I could make my own because I would really like a dark purple. I think that would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would.
Just look at how Starship is put together
Oh
and
man, that probably would work though.
No, you can do it, but it is a lot of work.
The only problem I have with Starship is what in the when you change appearance and you pick clothes, I can't see some of my clothes because the background is black and I have so much goth clothes.
Yeah, I really like Starship. Okay, let's see. There it is. Thriller test pose. Okay. Pose for me, woman. Pose for me. The claw. Start. Hello.
There it
Camera's
is.
in the way, but there we go. Cause this is Thriller. No, she doesn't like the bugs. So ungrateful little. Okay, that's the Thriller one. Did I change this one? See, there's a start and there's a stop. There's the drop down, the sub menu. Claw, start, and stop. Let's stop that and let's start the front start. Start. Yep, I'm coming for you.
Nice.
Yes. And that's how you do it, people, minus the no, don't.
Might need to change the priority on that one.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna put it on. I think it's on medium now. I'm gonna put it on high. I think that's the difference with the what's it called? The body animation and the body overlay. Maybe if we leave it as body animation, like you said, just leave the default settings,
Yeah,
they
it
won't
just
do other
locks.
things. Yeah, they won't do other things.
It depends on their motive, but like if their motives are really low, then they will break the animation to scream at you that hey, I need to pee, but for the
What
most
is that
part,
thing called?
you once you lock the joints in place, they stay locked.
Free will off. Yep, because this is thriller.
Nice.
Thriller. Stop the claw.
There it is.
Okay, people, that's how you do it.